I was wrong about Emma. My niece, my precious girl, the daughter I never had. I should have seen it coming. But when you love someone that much, when you've poured 17 years of your life into raising them, you don't want to see the truth. You make excuses. You tell yourself stories. You believe in second chances, even when you're staring at the 10th one. Let me start from the beginning, because you need to understand how we got here. My husband David died when I was 43. No kids of our own, we'd tried for years, spent thousands on treatments that never worked. The day of his funeral, my sister Rachel showed up with 5-year-old Emma, a backpack, and 2 weeks' worth of clothes. Rachel was strung out, again. Her eyes were hollow, her hands shaking. She said she needed to get clean, needed time. "Just 2 weeks, Lynn," she promised. "I swear, just 2 weeks." I held Emma's tiny hand while Rachel drove away. That was the last time I saw my sister for 3 years. By then, Emma called me Mom. By then, I'd legally adopted her. By then, Rachel was just a birthday card twice a year and a phone call on Christmas if she remembered. I didn't mind. Emma became everything. She was smart, so smart it scared me sometimes. Teachers said she was gifted. She read at a 6th grade level in 2nd grade. She won the science fair 3 years running. When she looked at me with those big brown eyes and said, "Aunt Lynn, I'm going to make you proud," my heart could have burst. I worked double shifts at the medical supply warehouse, took overtime every chance I got, started a college fund the day I adopted her. Every paycheck, I put money in that account. Every Christmas bonus, every tax refund. I drove a 2003 Honda Civic with a cracked windshield because that college fund mattered more. I bought clothes from Goodwill and clipped coupons and made my coffee at home because Emma's future mattered more. 17 years. 17 years of scrimping and saving and planning, the account grew to $47,000. Not enough for 4 years at a fancy school, but enough to cover a state university with scholarships and maybe a part-time job. Enough to give her the start I never had. Emma got accepted to Northern State University, full scholarship for academics. I cried when the letter came. We both did, hugging in my little kitchen while the acceptance letter sat on the counter like a golden ticket. "We did it," she whispered. "We actually did it." "You did it, baby girl," I said. "I just wrote the checks." She was supposed to start in the fall. That was last September. Everything was ready: dorm assignments, meal plan, orientation schedule. I'd even bought her a comforter set for her twin bed, navy blue with little stars. She loved stars. Then November came. Emma needed money for textbooks, she said. I gave her the debit card for the college account. Temporary, just until her student loans processed. She promised she'd only use it for books and supplies. I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? December, she needed more. Laptop died, she said. I saw the receipt, $1,800 for a MacBook Pro. Seemed expensive, but what did I know about computers? Kids needed good technology for college. January, she needed money for a parking pass. February, winter clothes for campus. March, a deposit on an apartment for sophomore year. She wanted to move off campus with friends. I started to feel uneasy. The amounts kept growing. The explanations got vaguer. But every time I questioned her, Emma would cry, say I didn't trust her, say I was treating her like Rachel treated me. That comparison always stung. I'd swallow my doubts and authorize another transfer. You know what's funny? I never actually checked the account balance. The bank statements came every month, but I just filed them away. I trusted Emma. I trusted my girl. The day I fell, I'd gone to the bank to deposit my tax refund. Wanted to pad Emma's account a little more before next semester's bills hit. The teller pulled up my balance. 1,247 yuan. I blinked at the number on the screen. That's not right, I said. There should be close to 50,000. The teller checked again, scrolled through the transaction history. Her face went carefully neutral that professional mask bank employees wear when they're about to tell you terrible news. Ma'am, there have been significant withdrawals over the past 6 months. She turned the screen toward me. Dates, amounts, locations, ATM withdrawals, online purchases, cash advances. My hands went cold. $500 at a nightclub in Miami. $1,200 at a boutique in Manhattan. $3,000 to something called Bella Vita Travel Services. $850 at a spa resort. The charges went on and on. A litany of my worst nightmare in black and white. "These are all debit card transactions," the teller said gently. The card ending in 4,782. Emma's card. The one I'd given her in November. I drove home in a fog, parked crooked in my driveway, sat in the car for 20 minutes just staring at my steering wheel. The bank statement was in my purse. I'd asked for a printed copy of all transactions. 12 pages. Emma's car was in the driveway. She was home. I found her in her bedroom, sprawled on her bed, scrolling through her phone. When I walked in, she looked up and smiled that sweet smile I'd loved for 17 years. "Hey, Aunt Lynn, how was work?" "I went to the bank today," I said quietly. The smile flickered. Just for a second, but I saw it. "Oh yeah? Everything okay?" I held up the statement. My hand was shaking. "You want to tell me about these charges, Emma?" She sat up slowly. "What charges?" "Miami, New York, designer clothes, spas, travel packages, nearly $45,000 in 6 months. I can explain." "Explain." My voice cracked. "Please explain how you spent your entire college fund on vacations and shopping sprees." Emma stood up. Her face changed, hardened into something I didn't recognize. "It's not like you were using it." "Not using it?" "Emma, that money was for your education." "Education." She laughed, bitter and sharp. "I dropped out in October, Lynn. I hated it there. Everyone was so fake, so obsessed with studying and grades. I couldn't breathe." The room tilted. "You dropped out?" "I tried to tell you. But you were so excited about me being in college, and I couldn't disappoint you. So I pretended. Kept the lie going." She shrugged like we were discussing a minor fib about homework. "And yeah, I used the money. It was just sitting there." "Just sitting there?" That was 17 years of my life. Every overtime shift, every dollar I didn't spend on myself. "Oh, please." Emma rolled her eyes. "Don't act like a martyr. You chose to save that money. Nobody forced you." Something snapped in my chest. "Get out." "What?" "Get out of my house. Now." Emma's expression shifted surprise, then calculation, then fury. "This is ridiculous. You can't just kick me out. Watch me. You stole from me. You lied to me. You threw away everything I worked for like it was nothing." I was crying now, hot tears of rage and heartbreak. "I gave you everything, Emma. Everything. You gave me guilt," she screamed. "You gave me this crushing weight of having to be perfect, to be grateful, to live up to your dead dreams. I never asked for any of it." She shoved past me toward the door. I grabbed her arm, just trying to hold her, make her understand, but she whirled around with surprising force. Her palm hit my shoulder hard. I stumbled backward. My hip caught the corner of the dresser. I went down, hitting the floor hard. Pain exploded in my left wrist as I tried to catch myself. Emma froze. For 1 second, I saw fear in her eyes. Then she grabbed her purse and ran. I heard her car peel out of the driveway. I sat on the bedroom floor, cradling my wrist, and cried like I hadn't cried since David died. The emergency room doctor said it was a Call's fracture, clean break, but needed a cast for 6 weeks. The young resident taking my information asked how it happened. I hesitated, then told the truth. She made a note in my chart, her expression careful. "Ma'am, if someone assaulted you—" "No," I said quickly. "No, it was an accident. We were arguing," she pushed me, but she didn't mean to hurt me. The resident didn't look convinced, but she nodded and left. I went home to an empty house. Emma's room was trashed, drawers hanging open, clothes everywhere. She'd taken her laptop, her jewelry box, anything valuable. The stars and navy comforter I'd bought her was crumpled on the floor. For 2 days, I couldn't function. I called in sick to work, sat in my recliner with my cast propped on a pillow and stared at nothing. The bank had given me fraud recovery forms, but I couldn't bring myself to fill them out. That would mean police. Reports. Making it real. On the 3rd day, Emma called. "Lynn?" "It's me." My heart jumped despite everything. "Emma, where are you?" "I'm at Jasmine's apartment." A pause. "Look, I'm sorry about your wrist. I didn't mean to push you that hard." "Emma, you took all the money. I know. I know. And I'm sorry, okay? I was stressed and stupid, but we can fix this. Her voice turned sweet, wheedling the voice she'd used as a little girl when she wanted something. I talked to Jasmine's cousin. He works in insurance fraud. He says if you report your debit card stolen, the bank will refund everything. You just have to say someone else used it. My stomach turned. That's fraud, Emma. It's fixing a mistake. Come on, Lynn. You can get all the money back. I get to keep the stuff I bought. Everybody wins. You just have to tell one little lie. You want me to commit a crime to cover up your theft? Jesus, don't be so dramatic. It's not theft. We're family. That money was basically mine anyway. You said it was for my future. Your education. Not handbags and nightclubs. Her tone went cold. Fine. Be stubborn, but don't come crying to me when you're stuck with nothing. She hung up. I sat holding the phone, something hard settling in my chest. Emma had shown me exactly who she was. Not the scared little girl I'd comforted through nightmares. Not the brilliant student who made me proud. Someone who could steal from me, hurt me, and then ask me to break the law to help her get away with it. I called the bank, filed the fraud report. The real one that Emma had taken the money without my knowledge, that I'd given her limited access and she'd abused it. They gave me a case number and said they'd investigate. Could take 60 days. Might not recover everything, but it was a start. Then I called my nephew, Emma's cousin Jake. He'd tried to warn me last year at Thanksgiving, said Emma was running with a wild crowd, posting pictures on Instagram of expensive restaurants and designer shopping bags. I'd defended her, called him jealous. He'd shrugged and said, "Just watch your wallet, Aunt Lynn." He answered on the second ring. "Hey, Aunt Lynn, how are you?" "You were right," I said. "About Emma." Jake sighed. "What happened?" I told him everything. The money, the lies, the push, the broken wrist. By the end, my voice was shaking again. "I'm so sorry," Jake said. I hoped I was wrong. "What do I do, Jake? She's your cousin. She's family. Family doesn't steal 45 grand from you and then ask you to commit fraud." His voice was gentle but firm. "Aunt Lynn, you need to press charges." "I can't do that to her." "You're not doing it to her. She did it to herself." A pause. "Look, I'm a paralegal, remember? I see this stuff all the time. People who enable bad behavior thinking they're being loving. All you're doing is teaching her that she can treat you like a doormat and get away with it. She needs consequences. She'll hate me. She already doesn't respect you. Isn't that worse?" After we hung up, I sat with those words for a long time. She already doesn't respect you. He was right. Emma saw me as a mark, an easy touch, someone whose love she could exploit without consequences. I thought about David. What would he say? I knew the answer. David had been kind but never weak. He taught Sunday school and coached Little League and always said that loving someone meant helping them become better people, not protecting them from their own mistakes. I opened my laptop with my good hand and Googled pressing charges for theft family member. The article said I could file a police report, provided the evidence bank statements, texts, documented lies. They'd investigate, potentially press charges for theft, fraud, assault. My finger hovered over the phone keypad for 10 minutes before I dialed. "Metro Police, non-emergency line, how can I help you?" The words caught in my throat. Then I forced them out. "I need to report a theft." 2 officers came to my house, took my statement, photographed my cast, my bruised hip, asked me to forward the bank statements and text messages. One of them, Officer Rodriguez, was maybe 30 kind eyes. She sat across from me at my kitchen table. "I know this is hard," she said. "Filing charges against family always is. But you did the right thing." "Did I?" "Because it doesn't feel right. It feels like I'm destroying her future." "Ma'am, she destroyed her own future when she stole from you. You're just holding her accountable." Officer Rodriguez stood. "The DA's office will review everything. If they move forward, Emma will be charged with felony theft, fraud, and possibly assault. She'll have a chance to make it right, restitution, probation, whatever the court decides. But she needs to face what she did." After they left, I sat in my empty kitchen and cried until I had no tears left. Emma didn't call, didn't text. I heard through Jake that she'd moved in with some boyfriend I'd never met, was partying every night, posting pictures on social media of champagne and beach trips, living her best life on my money while I worked double shifts to pay my medical bills. The anger that grew in me wasn't hot, it was cold, calculating, clear. 6 weeks later, my cast came off. The DA called the same week. They were moving forward with charges, warrant issued for Emma's arrest. They asked if I knew where she was staying. I did. I'd driven by the boyfriend's apartment 3 times, checked her Instagram obsessively. She was careless, tagged every location, posted every detail of her life. I knew she went to yoga at 10 a.m. on Tuesdays, got her nails done on Thursdays, had Sunday brunch at a trendy restaurant downtown. I gave the DA's office the address, but I also did something else. Something I'd been planning since the day I pressed charges. I called Emma. She answered on the 4th ring, suspicious. "What do you want?" "I want to talk," I said, keeping my voice gentle. "Emma, I miss you. I've been thinking about everything. And I think I overreacted." Silence. Then, carefully. "You do?" I was hurt and angry, but you're right, we're family. That has to mean something. I took a breath. "I'd like to see you. Make things right." "I can't come to the house. Too many memories." No, not the house. I'd thought this through carefully. "Remember that little Italian place on 7th Street? Mama Rosa's? You loved their carbonara." "I remember. Let's meet there, Saturday at 7. Just you and me, a nice dinner, and we can talk everything through like adults. What do you say?" Another pause. I could almost hear her calculating, weighing the risk. But Emma's weakness had always been believing her own lies. She'd convinced herself I was a pushover who'd always forgive her. She couldn't imagine I might be something else. "Okay," she said finally. "Saturday at 7. But Lynn, I'm not apologizing again. What's done is done." "I understand. I did. I understood perfectly." Saturday evening, I arrived at Mama Rosa's early, requested a specific table corner booth, good lighting, visible from the entrance. I wore a navy dress David had loved, the pearl earrings he'd given me for our 15th anniversary. I wanted to look like myself. The woman who'd raised Emma, loved her, given her everything. I wanted her to see exactly who she'd betrayed. Emma walked in at 7:05, fashionably late as always. She looked good: designer jeans, silk top, expensive bag, all purchased with my money. Her hair was highlighted, nails manicured, skin glowing from what I knew was a $200 facial. She saw me and smiled, genuine warmth in her eyes. She still thought this was real, that I'd forgiven her, that love was enough. Emma slid into the booth across from me. "Hey Lynn, you look good. The wrist healed okay?" "It's fine." I smiled. "I'm glad you came." "Yeah, well, I missed you too, I guess." She picked up the menu. "God, I haven't had their carbonara in forever." "Remember when I was 16 and ate so much I threw up in your car?" "I remember. We ordered, made small talk about nothing, weather, traffic, mutual acquaintances." Emma relaxed, laughed, told me stories about her boyfriend and their trips to the coast, showed me pictures on her phone of beaches I'd never see, restaurants I'd never afford. Our food arrived. Emma dug into her carbonara with enthusiasm. I picked at my chicken marsala, watching her, memorizing this moment, the last time we'd sit across from each other like this. "So," Emma said around a mouthful of pasta, "you said you wanted to make things right?" "I do. Does that mean you're dropping the bank thing? The fraud investigation?" I set down my fork. "No, Emma, that's staying." Her face darkened. "Then what the hell are we doing here?" "I wanted to see you. One more time, before everything changes." "Before what changes?" "I pressed charges, Emma. Theft. Fraud. Assault." The color drained from her face. "You what?" "You stole $45,000 from me. You lied for months. You pushed me down and broke my wrist. And when I gave you the chance to make it right, you tried to get me to commit fraud for you." I kept my voice steady, calm. "So yes, I pressed charges." Emma stood up so fast her chair toppled backward. "You bitch. You vindictive crazy bitch." Diners at nearby tables turned to stare. I didn't care. "I gave you 17 years of my life," I said quietly. I chose you over everything. My career, my social life, my chance to grieve David properly. I loved you more than I've loved anyone except him. And you threw it away for handbags and beach trips. I knew you'd forgive me. Emma's voice was shrill now, drawing more attention. I knew you'd take me back. You always do. You're weak, Lynn. You always have been. You're wrong. I stood, pulled my purse over my shoulder. I'm not weak. I'm done. I nodded toward the restaurant entrance. Emma followed my gaze. 2 uniformed officers stood by the hostess stand, Officer Rodriguez and her partner. They'd been waiting in an unmarked car outside, per our arrangement. I'd called them an hour ago, confirmed Emma would be here. Emma's eyes went wide. No. 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 Emma Morrison? Officer Rodriguez approached our table, hand resting casually on her belt. We have a warrant for your arrest. Everything happened fast after that. Emma screaming, causing a scene. Officers reading her rights. Handcuffs clicking around her wrists, the same wrists I'd held when she was 5 and scared of the dark. Her mascara running as she cried, begging me to stop this, to fix it, to save her like I always had. I watched it all happen, felt nothing but a cold, clean clarity. As they led her toward the door, Emma twisted back to look at me. I hate you, she screamed. You're just like Rachel. No wonder nobody wanted you. The words should have hurt. Probably would later. But right now, with half the restaurant staring and Emma being walked out in handcuffs, all I felt was relief. She was right about one thing. I had been like Rachel. Not in the way she meant not neglectful or addicted, but I'd enabled bad behavior, made excuses, chosen peace over accountability, loved without boundaries until that love became toxic. I paid for both our meals, left a generous tip. None of this was the server's fault. Drove home in the dark and sat in my driveway for a long time, engine off, just breathing. My phone buzzed. Jake. I heard. You okay? I think so, I said. Is that weird? I just had my niece arrested, and I feel okay. It's not weird. It's healthy. A pause. You did the right thing, Aunt Lynn. She'll have to face a judge, probably get probation and restitution orders. But she's young. She can come back from this if she chooses to. And if she doesn't, then that's her choice. You can't save people from themselves. David knew that. I think you're finally learning it too. After we hung up, I went inside. Emma's room was still a mess. I hadn't touched it since she left. Tomorrow I'd clean it out, donate her things, turn it into something else. Maybe a home office. Maybe a craft room. Something that was mine. The court case took 3 months. Emma pleaded guilty to felony theft and misdemeanor assault in exchange for probation and court-ordered restitution. She had to pay me back $800 a month for 5 years. The judge was stern, told her she was lucky I wasn't pursuing maximum charges. Emma cried and apologized to the court, played the remorseful young woman perfectly. She didn't look at me once. I'm writing this a year later. Emma's been making her payments $800 on the 1st of every month, like clockwork. I put the money in a new savings account. Don't know what I'll do with it yet. Maybe travel. Maybe retire early. Maybe donate it to a scholarship fund for kids who actually want to go to college. Emma sends me a birthday card every year. No note inside, just her signature. I think the therapist her probation officer required probably suggested it. I don't respond. People ask me if I regret it. Pressing charges, setting up that dinner, having her arrested in public. They say it was cruel. Vindictive, that I should have just let her go, moved on, forgiven her privately. But here's what they don't understand. I didn't do it out of cruelty. I did it out of love. Real love, the kind that says, I see who you are, and I refuse to let you destroy yourself. The kind that sets boundaries and enforces consequences and doesn't confuse enabling with caring. I chose accountability. I chose self-respect both. And every night when I lock my doors and settle into my recliner with a cup of coffee I didn't feel guilty buying, I know I made the right choice. Not the easy one. Not the one that kept the peace. But the right one. Emma's out there somewhere living her life, learning or not learning from her mistakes. That's her journey now. Mine is here, in this house that's finally just mine, with money in the bank that nobody's stealing, and a future I get to choose for myself. I was wrong about Emma. But I was right about one thing: love isn't always soft and forgiving. Sometimes love is a dinner invitation and handcuffs in a courtroom. Sometimes love looks like justice. And that's a lesson I'm glad I finally learned, even if it cost me everything.